Welcome back to the last day, the 7th day of the Darla Sew Along. Today is going to be quite quick. We are just finishing up the loose ends. So I actually have 3 Darlas that I've made during this process. 1 dress and 2 jumpsuits. One is a tie back, the other 2 are zip backs. And so we're going to start here with the tie back view, and we need to finish off the ends of the tie back. So yesterday we tried it on and we trimmed them to the right length. And once they are trimmed in the right length, we do need to give them a nice little hem. And so we want to fold them wrong sides together, 3/8 of an inch, and then again 3/8 of an inch, and then pin it. Now I actually like to use a invisible glue stick. If you followed me for a while, you know this is something that I use quite a bit. I just feel like it just holds it a little bit better than a pin, and I'm able to keep it nice and flat. So I'm going to fold that twice, and then once I have that folded twice on itself, then I'm going to go ahead and press it and steam it. Now, one little trick with the invisible glue stick, do make sure that it dries before you run it through your sewing machine so that you don't get any kind of gunk in your sewing machine. Okay, and then I have one other little trick here, and that is for sewing these small little ends on your sewing machine. They tend to give your sewing machine trouble. So what I actually do is I take a scrap piece of paper and I put that underneath the ties at my sewing machine, and that just gives the feed dogs something to grab onto, so you're able to just stitch that really little bit of fabric. And what I do is I stitch it back and forth, 2 or 3 times just to really secure that little end. And the nice thing is then those stitches leave these little holes that just kind of perforate the paper, so it just tears off super easily. So yep, there are the ends of our ties. I like to snip off any loose threads and then give those another press, but those are done and ready to be tied, and a nice little bow at the bottom of the back of your jumpsuit or your dress. Okay, and so our next and actually our final step is just to hem our dress or our jumpsuit. And we are going to start with the dress here. And this is all pretty simple here. I am going to fold the bottom edge wrong sides touching up by 1/4 of an inch. Now, I actually do not measure this. I just kind of do this by feel, but you can obviously be much more precise than me. And once that's all been pressed up, I'm going to fold that up along itself by another 3/8 of an inch and then press that all the way around. And you can, of course, also pin this in place. This fabric presses and steams really well, so I don't find that to be necessary. But if your fabric is pretty slippery, you might want to go ahead and pin all the way around. Okay, so now that that is all pressed and prepped, we're going to go over to our sewing machine, and we are just going to sew right along that inside folded edge all the way around. So that's going to be at just like a scant 3/8 of an inch, or just less than 3/8 of an inch. Okay, and then once that is hemmed, that is it for the dress view. I do like to take this time to just kind of like snip any loose threads once again, and then I do like to give the hem one final press just to keep it crisp and kind of just set those stitches in place. Okay, next up is hemming our jumpsuit. So this is one of the jumpsuit legs here, and with wrong sides touching, we are going to fold up that bottom edge by 1/4 of an inch, just like we did for the dress. And we'll do that all the way around each of the legs. And then I am going to fold it up by another inch. I do like just kind of this wider hem on the jumpsuit because it helps it hold its shape down there at the hem, but you could also do a smaller hem if that works better for your fabric. Now I said this for the dress view, but I think this also pertains here to the jumpsuit. Now I usually do not pin this, but you of course can pin this if that gives you just like a little bit more control. Both of the fabrics that I use press and steam really well, so I just don't feel like that is necessary. So here I am going over to my sewing machine now, and I am going to stitch just inside that folded edge, or out like a scant 1 inch, all the way around each of the leg openings and back stitching at the end. Okay, and that is finished. I always like to give my hem a nice little press at the end to kind of set those stitches, and it also gives me a chance to clip any loose threads. And I'm going to kind of do that for my entire jumpsuit and my dresses that I made, just making sure that all my darlas are ready to be worn as soon as I grab them out of my closet. I hope this sew along was helpful. I hope that you love your darlas, and please let me know in the comments if you have any questions.